Good morning. Welcome to the Windsor Star News Cafe. I'm Don McArthur here with Dylan Kristy, and we've got two special guests up for you today and a phone going off in the distance. But we have Jon Liedtke from The Urbanite, and we have Dan Brown from Why Not Windsor, Essex. Welcome to the show, guys.
Welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Okay.
Excellent. Well, this is something that I'm really excited about. You guys have organized a mayoral debate that's going to be held at the Foundry Pub on Olad Avenue, really to attract the youth voters. Can you just kind of tell us about it, give us the rundown?
Absolutely.
So John approached me, I'd say a couple months ago, because we're for this project we're doing. Why Not Windsor, Essex. It's a youth engagement communication project for young adults. And he said, wouldn't it be cool, you know, the election's coming up, we need to do something for young people. We didn't have a specific plan at the time. And then Missy Sorrow, who's a third of the organizers, came to me, and she's doing an internship with Pathway to Potential, and she said, hey, we want to do something to encourage more of a youth turnout to the debate. And we said, let's do something, let's make this happen. That was kind of the push for it, and we decided to hold this event, Vote Now, Vote Then. And it was Missy's idea, actually, so that the event is exciting because it encourages people to vote. We're holding voting throughout the night. So you come into the event and you vote. So right off the hop, who would you vote for right now if you had to pick a mayor?
Yeah.
We're asking the young people that, or anyone. It's open to all ages, but
Sure.
It's focused on young people. We do the first half of the debate. At intermission, we vote again, see how the results change, and we do the second half, and we see again how the results have changed. Then we look at who the youth have unofficially chosen as the mayor, and then you leave with a pledge to vote on the 27th.
It's called the Vote Now, Vote Then. And is it correct that people using that hashtag can ask questions in advance?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we're doing with that is via the hashtag Vote Now, Vote Then. People can, whatever form they want to use, whether it's on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, we're mining all different social accounts, finding that. Also on our Eventbrite registration page, you can put a question in. We're seeing great registration already, great submission of questions. We've got a pool of, I think, over 75 so far. So we're at
75 questions?
Yeah, so we're at the point of we're whittling those down, trying to find what the best ones are. There's some overlap, but the whole idea is giving youth in this city an opportunity to engage with politicians and candidates that typically might not reach out to them because traditional voter strategies, they don't take into account the social media generation. I mean, just looking at polling, for example, when all you're doing is calling landline phones, I don't know many people under the age of 35 that have a landline phone anymore. So we're really trying to give that voice to people that are part of this social media generation, which we're pegging at roughly between the ages of 18 and 39 years old.
Yeah.
And when you look at Windsor like as a voting block, from the 2011 census, we see that we're the second largest voter block. So that 18 to 39 represents about 30%. What I call my parents' generation, the 39 through, let's say, the 69-year-old block is representing 40%. And then what I call, I guess, my grandparents represents the last block at 20. So when you look at people between 18 and 39, what we want can actually be implemented through just simple voter engagement and outreach. So we're trying to get youth to understand, get involved.
But the problem with youth, traditionally, right, is that youth doesn't vote. So you guys are very, very engaged, obviously. How about your friends?
My friends, no, it's been difficult. Honestly, it's something that really comes up. I brought this up to my friends. Like, would you come to this event? And they think it sounds cool, but I think just there's apathy. I don't know if I don't care or it's boring or our life. I think it really comes down to these issues that are discussed don't directly affect my life. So we want to change the conversation. Say, let's talk about things that affect our lives. That's the exciting thing. Is we hope this will be a demonstration that by our collective voting at this event, people will leave with the feeling that they can make an impact at the polls.
And you're asking people to pledge their vote too as they leave, right?
Exactly,
To actually
yeah.
go to the polls, cast their vote. Now, which candidates are you going to be having at the debate?
So we've put an invitation to every candidate, which was a bit daunting,
excellent.
especially for being first-time debate organizers. And we are happy to say that we've got everybody locked down. Less Bruce Martin right now, but he's
The mysterious Bruce Martin?
The mysterious Bruce Martin. And I mean, with some of the emails that he's been sending out, it might be the best for us not to have him going off. But if he wants to come, we've sent the invitation. We'd love to see him.
He's walking a fine line out there on the edge, Bruce Martin.
Oh, I've been calling it dispatches from the fringe almost.
Yeah, well, that's accurate. So you guys are youth. I mean, one of the debate questions we want to ask at our mayor's debate today is about youth and what we can do to make this a more attractive, livable, fun city for youth. Because you actually have a quote on your website from Rebecca that essentially says, look, it's not just about jobs. We're very, very savvy youth today when it comes to a good place to live. So what does Windsor need to do to not just give them jobs, but give them a fun, attractive, livable city?
Well, I'll bring it back. We held an event here in the Windsor Star News Cafe in June. called Your City, Your Ideas, and it was an open think tank discussion where we had young people come in and talk about what were their priorities in 5 different areas. So we came up with, we had like group discussions and speakers went up, and we came up with 15 priorities, so 3 priorities per area, and those will be the focus of the first half of the debate. So I can rattle those off to you maybe quickly.
Yeah.
So professional opportunities for young people. The first thing that came up is a mentorship program for recent grads, and a co-working space is up there. In terms of college and university, integrating with the community as a whole, people want to see internships and co-op positions supported. People want to see diversification of the riverfront. A regional transit system is something that keeps coming up and up again, not just in young people. I keep hearing that over and over. And then cross-border partnerships. They want to hear more partnerships across the border, more cultural events, and that kind of thing.
I think Don, you really hit the nail on the head, because like I love the city. I know that Dan really loves the city. I think a lot of us do. And when you're faced with a lack, let's say, of professional opportunities that exist, and that's the biggest problem. I mean, you hear it throughout the election: jobs, jobs, jobs. Where are they? And when it comes to our generation, the biggest focus isn't necessarily jobs and employment, but if we can have a city that's livable, that we enjoy, that we want to live in, we might be willing to take a concession as for that ideal dream job. So if we're looking to lure new people into the city or try to just simply retain the youth that we have, if we can't guarantee them the big, high-paying jobs that Chrysler once gave us, we've got to find a way to keep them here. And that's by making a livable, enjoyable city that has the amenities, so to speak, that people between 18 and 39 want and need.
Bells and whistles.
Bells and
A
whistles.
lot of them talking about cutting bells and whistles, but it's what keeps a lot of people here, right? So you can't always just cut them.
No.
Yeah, we can't just rely on Detroit for sort of cool, hip, cutting-edge stuff, right? We want some closer to home.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, man, I'm going to do whatever I can to try to get you guys some coverage tomorrow night. At least send a photographer, shoot some video. I think it's a great initiative. So props to you for doing that. Anything else maybe you'd like us to ask the mayor's candidates today on behalf of youth in our debate, or anything you want to say to the kids out there at home who are watching to get out and vote?
I would just say to the mayoral candidates, don't write off the youth vote. I mean, it's easy to say that youth are apathetic, that they might not be involved or engaged, but if you decide not to engage with them, you can't ever hope to get their vote.
Yeah, and I'll just say, I hope everyone comes out tomorrow night at the Foundry Pub from 6 to 9. Vote now, vote then.
Cool. For more information, where can people go?
To our Eventbrite page, it's votenowvoteden.eventbrite.ca, or Facebook, the Why Not page, so it's fb.com/YKNOTWE, and we have an event there as well.
Excellent.
Well, just in closing, because I was all over the Google today trying to find out what Why Not Windsor Essex stood for, it isn't actually an acronym.
It's not.
Okay.
So it's Why Not Windsor Essex. We're talking about like a lot of what, what do young people want to see in this area? A lot of the time it's such a negative discussion. You have to really list out the reasons, but I think a big part of it is you can't just list out the reasons. You have to really win people's hearts to get corny a little bit. But that's where it comes from. It's the why is for Generation Y, and then the not, but it's Why Not Windsor Essex.
Excellent. All right. Well, gentlemen, thank you for joining us on the Windsor Star News Cafe.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.